Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are doing some Upper Karazhan, and it's actually quite a fun dungeon. To be honest with you, it is really has a lot of character in it, and if you enjoy that kind of stuff, this is definitely a really good dungeon for you. So, want to know how to get to Karazhan? Go right to the bottom of Dalaran. There is a portal there, and you can simply just head right on over. Go to the portal. You spawn literally right at the bottom of the tower. Just use the summoning meeting stone if you're doing mythics, and then you have to fly up to the side. You have to fly up to the side point where you actually then can go into the dungeon. Really, there's some trash at the beginning here, as you can see. Not too hard. This is a Mythic 10. I level 9, 31, so I'm a little bit ahead. I think just a wee little bit ahead of kind of what you would need for 10, but probably pretty darn okay. So, some trash right at the beginning, and you make your way up the stairs, always trying to use some movement abilities to help out your allies. As you can see, I'm a Guardian Druid. I made this character, if you want to know, when they were very uncommon, and now they're actually quite common for some reason. As they're very good. They have a lot of health. 9 million. I mean, that's definitely not the most that I'm going to max out at, obviously. So still, just a lot of trash, a lot of fairly easy trash to be honest with you. So we're going through this, and then we get to our first boss, the Construct, which is actually not too bad. I'm not terribly experienced with this, and I still don't really know everything about these encounters. So bear with me, as we're still just trying to learn. So what I do know is I would need to pull these kind of back here a little bit, just so that when the curator comes, we don't really aggro him. So as you can see, doing pretty well. And there is the curator. Oh, sorry, the curator. Pardon me. I'm gonna use line of sight here to pull these guys right behind here, and people wouldn't engage before letting me pull them here. I'll be able to do this. So so people are letting me pull them. So I'm gonna say let me. Let me line of sight. Be patient. So one of the really nice things about the balance affinity is that our Moonfire, it goes a long way, 35, 45 yard range. So that's a really nice part about that talent. Still not entirely sold on it, to be honest with you. Just because the other ability may be better here. So what I do know is we pull them right to this end here, because what happens is he will start to deploy these volatile energies, which I cannot tank. They don't care about my threat, so the DPS simply has to deal with them, and nothing I can do. I'm gonna try. All right, so I'm gonna use this to help my team get out of here. And as you can see, these permanently stay. These little power surge, energy surge, whatever they're called, power discharge. are do permanently cover the ground. So that's kind of what you're trying to do. You're trying to start at one end and then work your way all the way to the other end of this hallway, giving yourself room to basically, you know, yeah, room to basically do your thing. So evocation here is where he channels, well, evocation, but he takes increased damage, 100% increased damage. So I'm actually not going to use any of my defensive stuff here. Try to deal as much damage as I can, but I mean, I am a tank after all, and doesn't mean can't really do too much damage. Now we got to use this stuff here. Use my regenerate if I didn't. There we go. Use my regeneration here, and I'll use some damage mitigation abilities. Might as well. And we should be pretty good here. And when Trinket is coming off cooldown, which I actually really quite like. Reduce the damage of the next 10 melee attacks against you. Way up to almost 1 million. So here we go. We got a power discharge. We're just gonna kind of come back here. And yeah, it's pretty darn easy. Pretty darn easy, at least in my opinion. And there you go. The DPS there have a job to do. They have to, dodge everything and, switch targets to kill those little things. So at this point, you skip these two who patrol the area. So you just have to run by them, and then you have to kill this guy. I guess you don't have to, but skip. I actually wonder if you even have to kill this guy. Maybe you don't, actually. Because, interestingly enough, in my time here in Legion, which actually hasn't been that much, mobs reset in dungeons. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk that mobs reset in dungeons? It never used to be a thing, but it absolutely definitely is. You run far enough away and they reset, which is very, very cool. So, I'm gonna say you're ready. This guy's not too, the Shade of Medivh, not too bad, to be honest with you. These piercing missiles hurt like a bugger, though, and especially when as a Guardian Druid, you need a little bit of time to get up your Iron Fur, stuff like that. That first opening salvo, ugh, it's kind of dumb. So it looks like everybody is. I'm going to interrupt the piercing, whatever. And then, so that's pretty simple. As a tank, you just gotta have to stand still. That's really quite simple. You don't really have to do much. These, unfortunately, you can't tank. They just, they pick random targets. So it's really just a DPS phase. DPS these adds down and yeah, just gotta survive. That's pretty much about it. So if it looks like we have two fairly good DPS here. 1.4 million and 1.1 million, and then an 840. So that's that is good. I'm gonna get rid of these piercing missiles. God, it hurts. I'm going to use my regeneration here to get back 50% of all the damage that I take in the last 5 seconds, which is pretty overpowered. But with that said, Guardian Druids can't block. There is no blocking. So, yeah. So this ceaseless winter here, oh dear. I'm gonna have to use Rebirth on the healer, even though I probably, sorry, just that Rebirth. Even though he was dead, so not too bad. The one thing actually, did he even use it? Trying to look at the chat here. Actually, didn't even use it. So, when he uses Flame Wreath, she actually never... he actually never even used Flame Wreath. Yeah. Don't move. If the player leaves the ring, or if another player enters the ring that he casts on the ground around a player, it explodes, dealing 3.3 million fire damage. So yeah, when you see a big flame wreath on the ground, don't move. Because, kaboom, pretty much everybody dies. Pretty much everybody dies, so just be careful. Just be very, very careful with that. So then you fall down this thing very magically, and yeah, it's actually quite... Oh, you don't take fall damage, as you are nice little miniaturized versions of yourself. You get transported down this magical thing, and now you're like eeny weeny little bitty versions of yourself. As you can see, these rats and ancient tome flying books are absolutely gigantic, and it's actually quite cool. So I've never actually gotten Medivh's Footlocker. I'd really love to see what's in there. Probably some kind of obviously cosmetic something, or something cosmetic, or I don't know, a mount. Something's in there. What's in Medivh's Footlocker? So I don't know. I really don't know what's in there. Yeah, I really don't know, to be honest with you. So really, the only thing about the Mana Devourer, pardon me. Yeah, is you know, he spawns this loose mana that gets sucked into him, and if he gets that, then he gets mana. He gets mana for his abilities. You can, if you like, absorb those mana, but you take increased damage. Take quite a bit of increased damage. And I got you. And looks like our friend here is getting eaten by rats. So we're gonna have to try to res him. And without rats getting us here. My lovely pitiful heal. So yeah, that's pretty much the only mechanic for him, at least for tanks. Damage dealers, they can get the loose mana. They can get it because the loose mana also increases. So you take damage. If you get the loose mana, you take a dot. You receive a dot, which obviously hurts. But you get increased damage per loose mana that you get. So coming. Where's this guy? There he is. All right. So I'm gonna get him over here. Pull him just a little bit closer over here. Not too close to the sides or anything, because you want a little bit of space to kind of move around. So he goes these little arcane bombs, these energy voids, which you can actually get into to do something. I actually don't know what. Again, I don't know very much. See, so these loose mana here, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get a whole bunch of these here. I'm going to reduce some of this damage I'm taking, and I'm going to use a frenzied regeneration. I'm taking a lot of damage here. I'm going to use another frenzied regeneration. And this time I may or may not. I'll pick a few of them. I get a few of them. See, so now I have 4 unstable mana, which deals a lot of damage to me. However, Also increasing my damage, so you can see that it is a give and take for some DPS depending on, you know, how much health they have, etc., etc. You can get a few, but not too many, because you basically die almost instantly. Yeah. So as you can see, the footlocker would be where the loot is on normal. But yeah. So. Someone to repair. I have the thermal handle. There you go. Now, because we're not at... Oh, somebody aggroed this. Now, because we're not at 57, we are at, like... We're not higher percentage. Actually, we might have to kill some of these mobs, some of these worms. Because you have to kill, at least in Mythics, which is what this is, you have to kill a certain amount of the mobs in order to complete the Mythic. So, yeah, we're going to clear some of these here, and yeah. So for me, I just spam thrash and swipe, and my defensive every once in a while. We end up doing quite a bit of if the healer would. Not sure exactly. The healer's sleeping. So yeah, we should be good after this. Although there is, I think there's one more. There's one more, yeah. So we have to kill these guys. Anyways, looks like a healer may be a little weak for this, but we've been doing really well so far. We have good DPS, so. The last boss here is a bit intensive when it comes to healing. So we'll see how this goes, but yeah. So as soon as you're 83%, I'm pretty sure we are good for the rest of the dungeon, because there's a couple ones we have to kill here. As you can see, our path is blocked, and these guys, skip or kill. Depends. Some people want to kill them. Some people not so much. But they can kick you, so you have to be careful. Yeah, because that. They kick you. It's really hard to tell the angle that they're gonna kick you. Like it's kind of dumb, to be honest with you. it's just kind of dumb. Yeah, that happens. So, but luckily, these guys don't do that. It's that one. What's the? Not the pyromancer. The other one. The chick there. The chick there that kicks you. Not these pyromancers. So you just have to deal with it once, and then you're good. So these guys will finish these off, the quest off. As you can see, we're moving on to a pseudo boss. It's not really a boss, but it's fun. So this boss, this is interesting. So I don't know this that much, and I don't know very much. Basically, you can you basically you kill these you kill the these mobs, obviously, and you're trying to kill the king. That's the goal. You're trying to kill the king, and I have to battle res our healer here. And when they die, you can actually the king becomes vulnerable. And actually, oh yes, oh sorry, I didn't even see the knight there. That was killing him. So it's kind of quite simple. You know, you kill everything's around the king, and when you do, the king becomes vulnerable for 20 seconds after you kill one of the peons or the knights and stuff like that. So it looks like we're actually going to kill him right there. So it's pretty kind of simple. Kind of simple. It really helps if you have great DPS, which we do have, because you can just burst down the king when he is vulnerable. If not, then you have to kill more of the other random mobs in order to make the king vulnerable, and obviously go through more of those phases. However, the more of these side minions that you have engaged, I think they kind of like activate, and then they do damage based on regular chests, right? Regular chest attacks. So it is really kind of a cool mechanic, honestly. So now we have to wait for Medivh, get all sentimental, and regret his life. And then we're on to the last boss, who's he's just intense. That's about it. It's just intense. You know, it's like, oh man. I'll wait for our healer here, and here we go. So, you're trying to interrupt his things because he just does a ton of damage, and yeah. So his ship has that beam that you can see is putting that on the ground. Then his burning blast just does a lot of damage, but his disintegrate targets a random person, shoots that big thing that you just saw there. But the disintegrate also pushes people away. So when you're standing on the edge of this platform, or when you're standing on the edge of the ship, you can be blasted off. So you have to be very careful, very, very careful of yeah. So this part, you're trying not to get hit into those beams, which I almost was there. And as you can see, you don't really want to be see now he's targeting somebody, which he dodged out of the way. So that's exactly what you want to do. So you know, I got hit with the burning blast, which does do quite a good amount of damage. So disintegrate. Somebody's gonna get disintegrated. Hopefully they move out of the way. I'm gonna have to use a couple of these here. As you can see, it's just a lot of damage. It is really quite crazy. But at 66 and 33%, I do believe we switch phases. We go to another ship, which is pretty much the same thing, except instead of those bzzz side things, we have ads, which is fun. And I don't have my shout. I do now though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring them all over to the boss here, and this is just going to be a tank and spank. Really, I'm going to pop a few of my cooldowns here. As you can see, it's a lot of damage. It's see, and as you can, I didn't notice the yeah. So yeah, so it's hard. I didn't have 2 cooldowns there, unfortunately, which may have helped for sure. So let's go back, try again. Alrighty. Well, we're gonna do this. We're gonna try it again. And I'm gonna try to be as smart as I can here. I'm gonna try to... He's taking so much... He's taking so much damage. Alright. Well, that one went fairly well. So now... What do I tell everybody's here? Oh boy. So I'm gonna face him this way so that if he disintegrates me, I'll go backwards. Instead, I'm gonna use this. I'll use it to decrease some of my damage that I take. That worked out fairly well. I'll res the DPS. I don't think we got it. I'll use this. I should have saved. So one of my cooldowns lets me I don't think I can. Pretty sure I won't be able to do this. Dodge these things. No. Very, very close. Very, very close. All right. There we go. As he has disintegrate. Use this here. Yeah. I shouldn't have used Spark Skin. Gonna go in here. So we're gonna go through here. I'm gonna pull him over here. So that now looks like it is another wipe. As are here. go. So we have some dead people here that fell off, and definitely not going to. And once again, I forgot to save my Rage of the Sleeper. Ugh. Yep. So, positioning. Positioning. All right. Attempt number bazillion. Wasted that one. Avoid these ones. There we go. Alright, so far so good. And that is why we position him up there, so when we're hit by Disintegrate, we are not pushed off. Ugh. Nice, good heals. There we go. There was some good heals. I want to bring these guys all together here. Oh, I used it already. Ah. I keep forgetting to keep Rage of the Sleeper for this. Because the more things hitting me, the better I can. Ow. Frick. It's so frickin'. Yeah, it's really not that hard. All that for virtually nothing. All of that for virtually nothing. Well, there you guys go. That is Mythic Upper Karazhan. Really shouldn't be that hard, but it's tricky. It's fun. It's fun for sure. Fun for sure, but you know, obviously a bit tricky. Please let me know down in the comments, guys, what you guys think, and if you guys would like to see more of these WoW guides in the future.